Alrighty, boys, we're back with another one. Today we're doing the best, not the best, yeah, we could say the best culture tier list. Has the best culture in Bannerlord? So this is going to be based on obviously the starting cultures in Bannerlord. These over here, as you can see, they got bonuses for each culture and a little con as well, or a negative. As you can see, there they all are. We're going to go over each one as we see them on the tier list. But let's get right to it. Let's see which one sucks, which ones are good, and go from there. Alright, so we got top tier, great, average, please buff, and needs rework. Okay. So let's get right into it. So the first one we have is Aserai. So what does Aserai have? Alright. So Aserai has caravans are 30% cheaper to build. And in the current state of the game, caravans are actually literally the best money-making method. Because workshops kind of suck right now. Alleys, they don't make as much. Plus, you have to kind of always come back to defend them. So caravans really are the kind of the best passive income. Right below, obviously owning a town or a fief, right? And then you got 10% less trade penalty, and then no speed penalty in the desert, which is, I would say it's about, the desert, I would say, what is it? What would you say, like 20, is 25% of the map? No, it's not. Probably even less than that, really. Maybe 25% of the map. No. I would say it's 20% of the map, probably. If you look at the whole map, the desert encompasses about 20% of the map. And most of the time, you don't really go that far down. So, unless you're planning on staying in Aserai, it's still a good, what's it called, boost to have, and it makes it a lot harder for other cultures to really invade the Aserai because they're going to be a lot slower. So it's like a home field advantage. But their daily wages of troops in the party are increased by 5%. So before I used to always say like it's kind of bad, the 5%, but the 5% isn't actually too bad of a con. There are a lot of perks that can get rid of that 5% very easily. So the 5% isn't actually anything that crazy compared to some of the other ones that we're going to look at. Caravans being 30% cheaper in the current build of the game is very, very good. That means you get them out a lot sooner and you can make a lot more money a lot sooner. The 10% less trade penalty, again, more money making. The no speed penalty on desert makes Aserai a very strong, like, they're never really going to get wiped out. That makes them, that gives them a lot of strength. And obviously where they're located on the map, they have like a bunch of choke points. And it makes it kind of hard to really push the Aserai. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go out on a whim. And I'm going to change these as we go forward. I think Aserai is top tier right now. I really, truly do. Like, in the current state, they could be great plus. But we have to go see in comparison to everybody else. And I have to, think it through. But I'm going to put it at great plus. Like, it's just close to top tier. But we're going to see if someone beats out to the top tier spot. Because we don't want to put everybody in top tier. Because they're kind of balanced. They're pretty well balanced. But before, like in beta, it was not that balanced. So it was a lot easier to make this type of tier list. Next we have is the Battanians. Alrighty. So they got 50% less speed penalty and 50% sight range bonus in forest. So this is on the campaign map. Whenever you run over a forest, it's one of the biggest speed penalties you have is whenever you run through a forest. If you want to really maximize your speed to catch somebody, and you're kind of going slower than them, whenever they go inside of a forest, try to go around the forest. You really will capture them because the forest is quite a big speed penalty. I understand why it's not like the same as Aserai where they have no speed penalty, because the forest, it encompasses like a huge part of the map, more than the desert really. I think there's more forest like regions if you put it all together than the desert by far, and it's located like literally everywhere on the map. So I understand why it's only 50% instead of 100%. And then the 50% sight range bonus is also good. If you didn't know, when you go into the forest, your sight, which is based on your scouting skill, it is also minimized a little bit, so you can't see as far whenever you're in a forest, which kind of makes sense. A lot of trees, they're in your way. And then towns owned by the Battanian rulers have +1 militia production. That's good. It makes Battanians, towns, and castles kind of harder to well, not towns and castles, just towns for this bonus. But it makes towns a lot more beefier. You know what I mean? More militia production means it's gonna have a lot more bodies in there that you have to take out if you want to siege them down. Which is and their in terms of their locations, a lot of the Battanian towns are located very close to each other, so it does really. They're very how can I explain it? Since they're so close together, and since they have this militia bonus, like in terms of Battanian towns, they're very sturdy. They're very sturdy. Like they're very kind of hard to take down. Um, and then obviously they have the craziest archers in the game, so that doesn't help whenever you're sieging also. But they have a 10% slower build rate for town projects and settlements. I get why they did that, because since their towns already are so beefy and they're so close together, they gotta have a little negative to the towns, you know, with the 10% slower build rate. I would put them. They're really good. Like I said, one of the biggest advantages in Bannerlord to this day, and it was even more prevalent early on, is your speed. How fast can you get from one place to another? That's one of the reasons why in earlier builds of the game, Khuzaits just absolutely literally, if you were to just stand still and let the AI just fight each other, Khuzaits will like literally take over the whole map like 90% of the time, like 90 to 95% of the time. It was crazy. They still are very strong because they have the speed. They have a lot of horsemen. Horsemen go faster. But this speed penalty, I think, is very, very strong. And also the sight range. That means you can see farther. You can, pick your fights better. You might see them before they even see you. So if it's an army that might even be faster than you, they might not see you. Therefore, not even engage with you. I'm gonna put them also in the great category right now. Which one's better currently? Let me see. If we're being honest, Battanians are better than Aserai, I think. Just by a little, because they're negative of the whole 10% slower build rate. It's not as bad as 5% wages, in my opinion. Next we have the Empire. We got 20% less garrison troop wage. Okay. That means you can really get away with owning a lot more towns and castles, because obviously, you don't have to pay as much in wage. And since you don't have to pay as much in wage, you can have a lot more garrisons, which again make them pretty, kind of like the Battanians, make them pretty hard to siege down. Being an army brings you 25% more influence. That pretty much makes it so there's going to be a lot more armies. It's a lot more influential. There's going to be a lot more votes casted. So in terms of like the kingdom building, they have way better kingdom building capabilities. But their village hearths increase 20% less. Village hearths is how fast the village is built, and then obviously how successful a village is. The bigger the hearth, the better the village is, and then obviously towns connected to villages, their prosperity goes up kind of like, I'm not going to say completely directly because of the village hearths, but since the village that has more hearth is more successful, they're going to, trade more. They're going to bring more resources into the town, which will in turn make the town even better. So while their kingdom building is great, their prosperity gain isn't as fast as the other kingdoms. But war is like, see, in Bannerlord, being at war a lot is good. Battle spoils is really like even war spoils is like the best you can best way to make money in the game still. You know what I mean? Apart from like the smithing exploit, but it's one of the best ways to make money is just by fighting, taking over. And they're very good at taking over stuff and then not paying too much to hold it. So I think so. Listen, hear me out. So the reason I put them at top tier, because in all reality, you know, if we're talking about end game, if we're talking about just plain end game, if you're looking at it, these two, if you just want to start taking over stuff, just plain out, I need to take more by just like starting wars and stuff. More influence, again, is going to help you build the kingdom up a lot faster. A lot more people are going to be able to participate in votes and all of that. And then a 20% less garrison troop wage whenever you take over a town or a castle, you're going to be able to put more troops in there to protect it from a counterattack. So, if we're talking about like late game, or even kind of early game, they have the best expand potential. Like Battanians, they have like a good defense, right? But they have a very good offense. You know? Yeah. I'm sticking with this. Khuzaits! Recruiting and upgrading mounted troops are 10% cheaper. 10%, it's very low. But I get why it is very low, because, you know, mounted troops are very good. Then 25% production bonus to horse, mule, cow, and sheep in villages owned by the Khuzait rulers. Again, synergizes with, you know, them being very, I would say, animal. What's the word? They rely on animals a lot. You know, horses mainly, right? Yeah, that makes sense. But 20% less tax income from towns is crazy. This is one of the worst. Okay, I don't know if this is one of the worst. Oh, that might be even worse. But this one, compared to Battanians, this is like a nothing negative. Like, this is like, whatever. This, perks can cancel this out. 20% less tax income is insane. Like, while they might have very good troops, they're not getting paid. You know what I mean? That's a lot more. But then again, like, they're so, like, their main troops are so strong. But just, huh. Do I want to put anybody down? Because they're better than the Aserai, unfortunately. They are better. They are better. Aserai will make more, but Aserai troops are kind of, they're average. I can't think of an Aserai troop that really stands out and is just like, he's the guy. You know what I mean? They're just like average. They're not, you know what I mean? They're nothing special. We're sticking with it. We're sticking with it. Now, Sturgians. Recruiting and upgrading infantry troops are 25% cheaper. Good. 25%. Pretty significant. Armies lose 20% less daily cohesion. Cohesion is like the little bar that you have to keep up in your whenever you have an army. Otherwise, if it depletes completely, the army will disperse. So, and that costs influence to keep that cohesion up. So, pretty good. Again, I would say a good offensive thing to have. Then 20% more relationship penalty from kingdom decisions. Interesting. So, obviously, whenever you're voting on stuff, right? If it's like a very close vote, and let's say 50% want this, 50% want that, if you vote on one side, the other side is going to lose relationship with you because obviously you voted against them. Now, that could make building a kingdom kind of hard. You know, because you kind of want to have good relationship with everybody in your kingdom if you really want to have a solid kingdom, you know? You don't want to have enemies within your kingdom. And obviously, if you are the ruler, a Sturgian ruler, that might cause a lot of your if you make a lot of kingdom decisions that people don't agree with, you're gonna lose a lot of your clans. They're gonna go somewhere else. Oh, I hate to do this to Sturgians. The infantry is great, but it's like the Sturgians always have been behind. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. But they have really good troops too. Like, they have really good troops. But, and also, I feel like the Sturgians, if we're talking about like how their map looks, starting map, they really got like the worst end of the stick. Like the worst. They have like the worst, like, and like they have choke points the same as the Aserai do, but the Aserai have like more open space. They like it's more beefier. The Sturgians are like they're like a strip, but like a very short strip, and like, you know, it's just, I don't know. And I think they're way too spread out in my opinion. I'm sticking with it. Well, I'm gonna still do an end analysis, but next wave is Vlandians. So 5% more renown from battles, 50% more income while serving as mercenaries, 10% production bonus to villages that are bound to castles. Alright, and then recruiting lords to armies cost 20% more influence. So, this Vlandians are very good, like, early mid-game. Like, literally. 5% more renown from battles. That's cool. You can get your clan tier up faster. You know what I mean? That's cool. 50% more income while serving as a mercenary. Also cool. Again, being a mercenary, it's quite a good way to make money. It's quite a good way to make money. So making 50% more of that is, again, very good, like mid-game, early game type of bonus. Then the 10% production bonus to villages that are bound to castles. Okay. Is that crazy? I don't think that's that crazy. Cause the production, it's the villagers, even if they're bound to castles, villagers don't bring stuff to the castles. They still bring it to the nearest town. So, yeah, interesting. And then the recruiting lords to armies cost 20% more influence is kind of insane. That's also one of those, like, it's on par with the Khuzaits. Like, it's insane. But like, everybody loves Vlandia. I don't know. Everybody loves Vlandian. Like every time I play like a playthrough, I was like, man, you gotta go Vlandia. And they have such a good map position too. I feel like the Khuzaits and Vlandia have like two of the best map positions in my opinion. Like I feel like they just have two of the best map positions. And usually, like if Khuzaits are you know taking over the map, Vlandia is taking over the other side of the map. So I gotta give them some credit. You know they got crossbows, even though I don't like crossbows. Crossbows are pretty deadly, you know. And then obviously they have pretty good cavalry, very strong cavalry actually, with pole arms and lances and all that. But in terms of just culture. Now, because I'm thinking, what should I change? What should I keep? That's what I'm thinking of. If we're going just based off culture, I think this is it. Like culture bonuses, I think this is it. But I think I'm doing Aserai a disservice. I think currently this is how it stands. I think so. Listen. If you think I'm wrong, don't think that. All right, I think this is it. This is the one. This has to be the one. I'm probably wrong, because Vlandia, they do so good, but I don't think it's because of their cultural bonuses. I'll be honest with you. They sound just a little bit lackluster. And then this one is kind of crazy. 20% more influence is kind of crazy. Uh, that's it. That's the one. That's the one. This is what I see it as. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.